Hi. Today we are back at another location, which is the usual for this channel, so I don't know why I said that. But this is Nate's Vintage Trains. I am, of course, Nate, and today I will be addressing a few questions regarding my equipment, specifically my current train, which I have with me right now, and that vertical boiler steam engine, which I made videos about a while ago. If you want to check out those videos, which I've already made introductions for these cars and that steamer, you can check those links in the description. Or it'll probably just be a playlist. Either way, you'll be able to see them. But if you already seen them, or if you don't care and still want to watch this video, okay, I'll give you the short of it with what my equipment is and what will be happening to it very soon, as well as any further updates of what's actually going on, because sometimes I'm still figuring that out. So, without any further ado, this is my train. First of all, we have Mac here. This is a Cannonball Super Mac locomotive, built from a kit back in 1986 when it was simply the Little Mac. The difference is that Little Mac has one powered axle, while the Super Mac has two powered axles, as this one has. However, neither of them powered because this thing broke down back in March, just after Maricopa's spring meet. I'm trying to figure out what to do to replace the motors, because I checked the motors directly, and it might be a problem with the brushes. That's my best guess. But at this point, I'd like to get an upgrade of an engine, and you'll see why very shortly. With this thing, in the meantime, this will be my meet locomotive for going out to different train meets, LA, Orange County, heck, maybe even up north sometime. Someone even wanted me to go up to Golden Gate Live Steamers up in the San Francisco Bay Area. I got it from a gentleman when I was living in Bakersfield who was there, and I met at a train show. And I will have more videos answering other questions about various aspects of live steam, as in acquiring equipment. So I got this after talking to someone at a train show, believe it or not. He was just walking around there next to some live steam stuff. And I acquired it from him back in April of last year, repainted it, redid the electronics inside, but now I'm gonna have to redo the entire drivetrain on this thing. To be fair, I did pay a very cheap amount for this, but it was just something to get me started, that's all. So hopefully I will be getting an upgrade very soon, and I already have my eyes on what that will be. I hope it will be, but there's no guarantees just yet. So this thing will get new motors and a new drivetrain inside of it. These two flat cars were built by my dad and myself. Mostly myself, at least on the second car. And this is the second flat car. So I got two pairs of trucks from the same gentleman that I acquired the locomotive from for about $100 for the two pairs, and they are pretty good shape. Ran them around at all the different clubs that I visited, and you can check out those playlists later, but for now, please stay, I do have more to talk about. So the dimensions on these are, one, based on a Pacific Electric Railway predecessor, and if you can't tell because of the red, I do like Pacific Electric a lot. These are both 5 feet long with benches on each of these, and one of them does have a toolbox that I built for it to accompany it. But one of the cars, the one back here, has the old gondola, which we will get into in a minute. I'm considering making one of these flat cars the dedicated one to go with my engine for when I travel around, and the other one be made into, or flip them around, be made into a larger caboose. But I already have a caboose body, which we will get to in a second. But anyway, yeah, so these are fairly nice, sturdy riding cars, but with the amount of train I have with this tiny engine, it's not going to cut it at some point, so I do need that upgrade. This piece of vintage is an old gondola that I acquired from the same gentleman that sold me my locomotive, as well as the trucks that are underneath the rail cars here. Best I can tell, this came from Arizona, so it is finally back home where it should be. There's a sticker on the end of the car on the end that I'm on that says Scottsdale, Arizona, American Traction Company. I don't know any information about it, but it does say Scottsdale, so that's the interesting part. I'm considering putting the trucks from this back onto here. It was on there previously, as you can tell from this video. I'm probably just going to use this as storage for all my wood scraps because, as you can probably tell from the other flat car that was over here, I certainly have a lot of it, and this would be good for storing it. I also have another car that I will be using for storage that I have not said anything about, yet was finished back in April. My dad and I constructed a boxcar based on a B40-5 class Southern Pacific boxcar. These were cars built 1917 up to 1923. Most of them during World War I, 17 to 1919 in that area. And some of them were actually built by Pacific Electric and Torrance. A lot of my inspiration comes from Torrance and Pacific Electric, if you've not found out, as well as Redondo Beach for the flat cars that I have here. This might not look like a caboose to you, but it's based off of Pacific Electric's bobber cabooses that were built by that company in Torrance in 1921. Excuse the breeze, please. And doing this in Arizona in the summer is not the best idea because I'm starting to sweat bullets. So this might be a bobber caboose. I am debating again whether or not to actually complete this car because getting the bobber trucks is actually, the single bobber truck is roughly the same price as just getting a pair of Bettendorf trucks in order to make a full rail car. Again, I'm debating that. I'd like to possibly have a double truck caboose, but this might be nice just to ride around with the Mack locomotive, since I already did buy a seat that could be very useful. This seat I got in an antique mall or antique store around here for a couple bucks. That's about it for now, so I'd like to get a steel gondola at some point as a nice riding car, heck, maybe even two. Still debating about making one of these flat cars into a caboose, a double truck caboose, and maybe just getting rid of this. Wood storage for this gondola that I have, and then fixing up the locomotive and getting an upgrade engine all far down the line. That boxcar, it's actually still in California. At some point I'd like to get it moved out here, but that means I need more space than the 20 feet of track that I have currently. Right now this is just short of the 20 feet mark. I have to make some changes soon enough. So, and for the next part and the final part and what you've all been waiting for, let's talk about the locomotive that my friend and I have affectionately been calling Tom Turtle. That will be explained at another time, but in the meantime, here's an update. The vertical boiler Tom Thumb locomotive, what's called Tom Turtle, used to be called the Turtle because it was painted green at some point, was built by Hutch Cooper at Los Angeles Live Steamers in 1965. By 1976, it was sold to a gentleman, Glenn Anderson, and eventually was sold after he passed away by his family to the party, the nice lady that we acquired the engine from. By we, that is myself and my friend Richard. The locomotive is in California at Southern California Live Steamers. At this point, Richard has pretty much full control over the engine since I'm not able to help pretty much at all with the project at this point, so there won't be many updates coming from me, but in the future, I might be able to actually operate the locomotive. So that still remains to be seen. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I have more questions to answer in the coming weeks, so please subscribe, comment below if you have any more questions that you'd like to be answered. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Keep it old school. Jesus loves you, and God bless you all.